She's just a kind of a part of his life, a small part of his life, who he probably doesn't care about. He probably doesn't really love her. He treats her like a sort of, surrogate mother because she's the mother he never had when Diana, his mother, died when he was young. But he's a pathetic specimen.
Breaking today, an extraordinary call for Prince Harry to be stripped of his Counselor of State title after his courtroom embarrassment versus the Daily Mail. And by the way, as he gives a new podcast interview to the rugby star Joe Marler, and I know many of you may love Joe Marler. He's the England rugby dude, and he was a big star of the Celebrity Traitors. But this is honestly the worst, most embarrassing interview by a member of the British royal family I have ever seen. So first, let me get to these calls in regards to the Council of State position. And this is significant because it is the Times newspaper, which is widely regarded as the establishment newspaper in the United Kingdom and doesn't usually make a big call like this, but it is the formal voice of the Times arguing that as a result of Prince Harry's decision to attack the judiciary as a complete and obvious whitewash, sadly not altogether unexpected after the Daily Mail's total exoneration, that it is simply inappropriate for him to be in a position where he has to potentially sign off laws if King Charles and a number of other royals are ever incapacitated. And the Times says, regrettably, this is all part of a pattern. Although often professing a desire to escape from the royal drama, Prince Harry appears addicted to generating it. His explosive Oprah interview was followed by an accusatory memoir spare and a long battle with the Home Office over his security, in which his claim was last year dismissed by the Court of Appeal. More recently, with his chaotic signals over a possible stay in Buckingham Palace in the thick of a court case, he has yet again risked embroiling the king in constitutionally embarrassing positions. It need not be so. Many people would understand if Prince Harry wished to pursue a truly private life in which he quietly sought happiness and steadily rebuilt his damaged family relations. It is welcome news that he and his wife have been able to bring their children to see the king for the first time in 4 years. I don't agree with that, by the way. But in the face of his seemingly strong desire publicly to confront, oppose and malign the institutions of the British state and their decisions, his constitutional role within the UK should not continue. He remains by law a Councillor of State, although he is prevented at present from performing that role due to not being a working royal or living in the UK. However, the Times argues that further legislation should be considered to remove the title entirely. And I believe this is now absolutely essential. Prince Harry should not even be a prince. He is embarrassing the British royal family. And if it's not enough to accuse the judiciary of being part of a conspiracy against you, even though you're a privileged member of the royal family, can I just say that the thing that should probably get your title stripped is going on a podcast, sort of a TV show these days, and talking about your pubic hair and people shitting themselves. And that's what Harry has just done. And I'm sorry that this is so gross. I'm only going to play you a couple of examples, but honestly, I think if I just explained this, you actually wouldn't believe me. So Harry was asked by Joe Marler, this rugby star, about his grooming routine. And he talked about having a shit shower and shave, leading to a truly repulsive conversation about his pubic hair that I think is unbecoming for a member of the British royal family. I think it would leave Queen Elizabeth II rolling in her grave, and I actually think it disgraces this man-child. Watch this.
What's your grooming routine with your auburn?
What are we talking?
Upstairs and downstairs.
And middle stairs.
Yeah, and middle stairs, to be fair.
It's a shit shower shave, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Shit shower and a shave?
Yes, shit shower.
All at the same time?
No,
You can't shit in the shower. A friend of mine actually did shit in a shower and refused to get rid of it. I dealt with it.
Do I know this person?
We should move on back to you answering.
How did you get rid of it?
We should definitely move on.
I like your beard, it's trimmed nicely. I trim my beard every sort of 5-6 days, just to keep it a little bit tidy. Nothing really happening on top. I get a haircut. Otherwise, I try not to look at what's happening.
No.
And then, I don't think, Jake, we don't need to go there.
We don't need to go there.
No, right. Yeah. But we can.
We don't need to.
Fair enough.
Did you want to go there, Joe?
Well, if I'm to share, so it's a comfortable space, I look like the last turkey in the shop.
What's going on?
That's where I'm at, just so you know. Trying to make as much improvements as I can.
Front and back?
No, the back's a disgrace. It's like the eye of that thing from Lord of the Rings.
The eye of Sauron?
Yeah, that's what it's like. It's awful. Just don't go. No one goes there anyway.
Yeah, you don't need to prove it. I can believe it.
Oh, thank goodness you're with me on this. I'm just looking at the live chat. 3 more 650. My God, how degrading. JKYR. Harry is a creep. Exacta. Mundo 1. Jesus wept. What is he doing? But it got worse. It got worse because Harry, who remember is the son of the king. And I just think back to all of the royal interviews that I listened to in the past. There's not many, but every now and then, because I'm a geek, I'll go and listen to like Princess Margaret on Desert Island Discs, speaking in her crisp English accent, really representing the royal family with pride. In what I think is the lowest moment for an interview by a member of the royal family in history, Harry decided to joke about shitting himself. Watch.
When was the last time he shat himself?
I'd imagine sometime when you were in the army.
What? Why, because you did?
Did you never go to the jungle?
What? Is that what you call it?
I'm sorry.
See you guys just off to the jungle.
You only asked that question because you must have shat yourself multiple times yourself.
Says a lot more about you than it does us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also, you know about the one that's stuck on the M25.
Yeah, I would say we're quite a pooey pair.
Worst thing was I had to double check. I was like, oh no, it was that thingy, and then it was, and then I had to carry on driving, but I didn't have any watch.
So, but this was through a fart?
Yeah,
Oh,
but it was more than.
Anyway, and the age of 36 or younger, that's interesting. Because normally once you're 40 or older, you never trust a fart. But you're young and you on the M25 shat your pants via a fart. That's hilarious.
Mike Graham, that's the son of the king. That is the son of the king.
Dan, I'm not a wilting flower. Appalling. It's just appalling. What's he thinking? And also all of those kind of, what do you call those? Gen Zers or whatever they are. These kind of, people who think it's all really funny to talk about yourself, and I can't go to work because I'm feeling a little bit anxious. But let's talk about shitting ourselves. It's really awful. That is awful. I'm literally. I'm watching that. I was aghast.
It's genuinely a new low, isn't it, Mike? Because the thing is, over all of the past few years, Harry has tried to make out that he's this big brain and this sensitive soul. Actually, he's just a man-child. And all of a sudden, when you watch that, look, I know we've all got our strong views on Ms. Markle, but when you watch that, you sort of do understand why she's very turned off him. Because a woman doesn't want that, Mike.
No. Well, there was a time when I thought that she was the villain of the piece, but actually I think it's him. Because he should know better. He was trained to be a member of the royal family. He was taught how to behave. He rejected it. He decided to become a snowflake. He decided to become a me, obsessive. And actually, I think now he is more to blame for the fallout of the relationship between him and his father and him and his brother. And she's just a kind of a part of his life, a small part of his life, who he probably doesn't care about. He probably doesn't really love her. He treats her like a sort of, surrogate mother, because she's the mother he never had when Diana, his mother, died when he was young. But he's a pathetic specimen. I mean, it's like, come on, man. We've all suffered. We've all been through some crap. Don't be so appalling. And have some respect for the people who look up to you for one reason or another. There's not many of them left, but,
Yeah, and also who look up to the royal family.
But everything's not a locker room joke.
No. But also, Mike, isn't the point that, the royal family is meant to be the one institution who isn't going down this path, who we're not meant to know everything about, who do sit above sort of pop culture, celebrity culture. Right. I mean, there's another part of the interview where they're joking about OnlyFans, and you're just like, no, not you.
Can't imagine. You can't imagine, William and Kate sitting there talking about how she shaves her armpits.
Never.
Just wouldn't happen.
Never. It's interesting too, Mike, because this court case, I mean, I know you always predicted that this court case was going to be a total disaster for Prince Harry, and it turned out to be that way. I just want to show you this from Camilla Tominey of the Daily Telegraph, who's actually got an interesting point here. She basically says that one of the results from the court case is that Harry has now been exposed for leaking stories to Charlotte Griffiths in the Mail on Sunday. And actually, what it does is blow up all of the arguments that he's made over the past sort of 6 years. Because remember, all of his thing was about, the terrible royal family, the men in grey suits, the giving stories to the newspapers against me. But actually, his team were proven to do that. Anyway, I'll show you what Camilla said and then get your reaction.
This circle, because I'm struggling. Prince Harry told Tom Bradby that any member of the royal family that tipped off the media in a bid to rehabilitate their reputation was, quotes, getting in bed with the devil. We now know from the trial that he's lost against Associated Newspapers, publisher of the Mail and Mail on Sunday, that he exchanged flirtatious Facebook messages with the Mail on Sunday's editor-at-large Charlotte Griffiths, who subsequently claims that it was Team Sussex that tipped them off about a meeting with the King's aide in a bid for a royal reconciliation, a positive news story for the Sussexes after lots of negative headlines. So haven't Harry and Meghan just been revealed to do exactly what they've accused their tormentors of? They've been revealed to be briefing the press as much as anyone.
I mean, Mike, Camilla Tominey's totally right there, isn't she?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we all know, and I've said it many times, Diana was the master manipulator of the press. You know, she smuggled Richard Kay into Kensington Palace in the back of a car. Richard Kay, for those of you who don't know, a massive recorder and diarist of the Daily Mail, brilliant journalist, friend of mine. You know, he's never admitted it, but when you ask him, he doesn't deny it. Will Carling, also similarly, she managed to smuggle into Westminster, into Kensington Palace, and she used to ring Piers Morgan on a regular basis. Piers just told me the stories. You know, she would ring him, she would tell him stuff, and he would publish it, and then she'd deny it the next day and make him look stupid. She was brilliant, right? Harry hasn't got the nous or the brains to be as clever as his mother. And also, he's got nothing really of interest to sell, because when you put Prince Harry's picture on the front page, it doesn't sell any extra copies. When you put his mother's picture on the front page, even now, it would be something that you would actually want to do. So, I mean, the man is a disgrace. He's an abomination on the face of the monarchy. And the sooner that they strip him of the title of the Duke of Sussex, which I believe they should do. I was reading actually something today, which I think said that he was asked what his occupation was. And he said Prince of Great Britain, I think, and influencer or something like that.
He says Prince of England,
Prince of England, right?
Duke, and inventor of the inventor. I mean, he doesn't have a job. He doesn't have a job. And the problem is, he didn't want the job, did he? He didn't want to be a duke. He didn't want to be a prince, but it hasn't worked out. He had an opportunity to go and actually, work in Hollywood and make shows and all of that, and it didn't work out. And it probably didn't work out because he's got a brain the size of a peanut. But look, Mike, I want to reveal today's greatest Britain and Union Jackass. But just before we get there, Mike, huge amount of feedback coming in about Anne Widdecombe, as you would expect, and what is looking like a police cover-up. So I just want to get to some of those comments. Robert Treborable says the country has been allowed to degenerate so bad. We need a return of the death penalty and harsher punishments. And Anne was in favour of the return of the death penalty. Just worth pointing that out. Ray Rowland says the police work for the corrupt politicians and not the people. Brian Houston says that the police running out of time to charge this guy. Where is the CCTV footage from Anne's home? Because he's been investigated for and rearrested under terrorism offences. My belief is that they have another 7 days, actually, so they're not running out of time. Catherine Harvey says, of course, it was politically motivated. It would have been extremely random otherwise. Classy Lady 92 says, Anne always reminded me of how pathetic the current crop of MPs we have are. That is so true too. And thank you so much for your super chats. Crackerjacks says, rest peacefully, Anne. You are now home. Hammers Mikey says, a one-of-a-kind, passionate, loyal and lovely lady who spoke her mind and never backed down from anyone. A true national treasure, in my opinion. And by the way, thank you to Rosalinda 20044 and Elena Lee Eldridge talking about the issues on Substack. My team has looked into it, and our belief is that this is a problem at Substack's end today. So we're really sorry about that, but we are working to get it sorted. But thankfully, you've been able to come over here. Although, of course, we love you being on Substack usually. So a reminder of the greatest Britain and Union Jackass nominees. So Mike has nominated for the worst Briton in the world today, Matt Langman. He's the Assistant Chief Constable for Devon and Cornwall Police. He said initially they had no reason to believe Anne's death was down to political motives. He's also nominated Cathy Newman for entertaining the idea that the current threat to MPs is the fault of Elon Musk. Of course she has. And I went for Paul Brand of Woke ITV for his terrible reporting, actually, on this whole topic. With 16% of the vote, it is Paul Brand in the third place, which means, Mike, you're a winner either way. The runner-up is Matt Longman with 23% of the vote. But look, of course, it had to be Cathy Newman of Sly News. Today's Union Jackass with 62% of the vote. And who have you gone for as our greatest Briton today, Mike?
Well, I've gone actually for the guy who challenged that dreadful, ghastly, awful woman, Nigel Huddleston,
on Politics Live.
Yeah, he's actually one of the less bad Tories. You know, I'm not a big fan of most Tories, but this guy actually is not bad, and he. For saying to this ghastly woman, what was her name again?
Dazed and confused, we call her.
For him to say that he was actually ashamed to be sharing a sofa with her, and that he was ashamed to be on the same program as her. Good on you, man.
Yeah, and he did it on the spot too.
Yeah,
he didn't react and think, I'll say that a few minutes later. He did it in the moment, and it's actually become a bit of a viral moment for me.
Yes.
But look, Mike Graham. Firstly, incredible broadcasting on the Mike Graham show. It was actually on your show on Friday that I found out about Anne's death to begin with, because I watch every day. Very difficult for you to get through that show. I mean, it was terrible for me on Friday as well, but obviously, it's really shocking when you're getting that news and you've been on it all week. But we have a big day, don't we, Mike? Because we are both appearing together at CPAC GB on Thursday. And obviously, we'll be speaking about Anne, but also all of the goings on in the independent media. And I'm really looking forward to it, actually, because I think we all need to be together this week,
You know what, Dan? With every week that passes, you and I, in our different ways and together as well, are proving a point, and we're proving the point that, you know, have a look at this, right? I'm just looking at Kathy Newman's Twitter tonight on the show. She's got Baroness Aisha Hazarika.
Oh.
Fuck right off. Sorry. And Lord Michael Gove. So two people from the elitist House of Lords. Two lefties from the elitist House of Lords. Who do they think they're appealing
That's
to?
balance. That's balance on Sly News. That's the hilarious thing. I mean, Michael Gove is not a conservative. Like, anyone who thinks Michael Gove is a conservative. No, you're right. And that's why we're going to push the cause for the independent media, aren't we, at CPAC TV? Because obviously there's going to be a lot of mainstream media there as well. But our session is specifically focused on the independent media, and like Jack Posobiec from America is also coming over. I think it's going to be brilliant, actually. I'm really looking forward to it. But I'm more looking forward to it, actually, Mike, just for all of us to be together after what has been, let's be honest, a traumatic week for everyone on the right. There'll be a lot of people there, I think, who are big fans of Anne Widdecombe. There's going to be a big reform contingent because Nigel Farage is giving the keynote address. That's on the Friday, and I'm going back for that too. So it's going to be a really interesting day, and I will see you there, Mike. But thank you so much for being here today. And
this video is for news reporting, commentary, and educational purposes. The views expressed are based on publicly available information and personal analysis. We strive for accuracy but encourage viewers to verify information through official sources.